Hey guys, so one of the biggest requests I get is tips for low back pain. So if you're wanting to know more about what causes low back pain and how you can fix it, stay tuned. Low back pain is typically caused by tightness in the hips, specifically the front of the hips, the hip flexors. So what happens is us as humans have adapted a lifestyle where we're sitting a lot. Either we're driving, we're working, we're watching TV, playing video games, whatever it is. Our muscles have muscle memory, and they're going to remember these actions that we have to do every day, and they're going to try to strengthen in order to make life easier on us. Unfortunately, sometimes that does the opposite. So basically what's happening is I have my hip flexors up front. These muscles are going to, because of muscle memory, are going to try to tighten and remain tight. So they're going to start pulling my hip bone forward. So when my hip bone goes from neutral to now it's being pulled forward, I have a kinetic chain all the way throughout my body. So whatever happens to my hips here is going to affect my spine up here. That's why when this pulls the hip forward, you'll notice that my back starts to have a much larger, much more intense curve into it. Essentially what's happening is we're just taking the vertebrae in the lumbar spine, and instead of kind of floating on top of each other like this, we're now adding pressure and they begin to touch. And that's very painful. But no worries, you can fix this. It's not the end of the world. You can get back to your training routine. What you need to do is you need to work your abs, and specifically, so when I'm talking about abs, yeah, there's the six-pack abs, the rectus abdominis, but I mean these deeper layers, and specifically the transverse abdominis. And it's number 13. So this is what really stabilizes your core. This is kind of like your natural weight belt. And then the other thing that you want to work is your glutes. So if we look at a posterior view, now you can see we have our glute, but again, there's a lot going on in those underneath layers. Your glutes actually have a lot to do with stabilizing your core as well. So what does this look like in action? Let me show you. I'm gonna contract my hip flexors going into that lordosis view. I'm going to contract my abdominals, specifically the deeper layers of my abdominals, and simultaneously, I'm going to contract, I'm going to squeeze my glutes together. So 3, 2, 1. When I did that, those muscles pulled on either side and pulled my hip bone back into position, relieve the pressure from my low back. If you are struggling with low back pain, the first thing that you should try is adding core exercises and glute exercises to your programming. Also, just a tip, if you're wanting to lift as well, ladies, you're going to want to work your hamstrings too. That'll help push those glutes up. Also, I know a great band distraction stretch for the hip flexors that instantaneously helps for the low back. So if you're interested in seeing that, that's going to be the next video that I post. It's going to be much shorter, just kind of like that shoulder stretch video I posted. But that's all for now, and I will see you guys next time.